or mango fruit, anything, or jackfruit, they will not come empty-handed. Today we sit and go back to that room. Our elders, our society was teaching us the sweetness of recognizing the interconnectedness, interdependence. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. So today when we were, in ashram we don't do anything except early morning there will be a stream of people. Today also there were about more than 800, 900 people. This is the day on which they come. So we give them prasad, a coin. Today it was 10 rupee coin. Last year it was 5 rupee coin. And then some sweets somebody would have prepared. And everybody will come, they will take it and then go with the prasad. To them, the whole year starts with an auspicious day like Vishu. Remembering God, carrying the prasad, carrying the coin. Of course, ashram also sends these offerings to hospital, government hospital, where the patients may not be able to celebrate at their home, and there will be bystanders. And another institution where there are about nearly 200 destitutes, absolute destitute. Many of them are mentally also challenged. There also we go and give. So it is a day of remembering the interdependence, interconnectedness, and a day to remember the great provider who has been providing everything to us. That much about Vishu. Now coming back to peace eternal. How many chapters we made a quick run?
9 chapters.
Oh.
9 chapters.
So 9 chapters. Out of these 9, do we remember each chapter with something?
I can't hear much.
Internal.
Peace is internal.
Peace is internal.
Equanimity.
Equanimity. Equanimity. Jnani Bhakta. Internal peace, equanimity, Jnani Bhakta. Then
Go to the source.
Go to the source. Go to the source of all manifestation. Yes, then. Why should we go to the source of all manifestation?
To obtain a Shantakya Sukha. To obtain a Shantakya Sukha.
Shanti, for the Shanti Shanti.
Swarajam garu malli cheppandi.
No, why should we go to the source? In what way will it help us in getting Shanti? Equanimity will definitely give us Shanti.
Everything comes from the same source.
Eh?
Mind.
Everything comes from
It's
same
eternal.
source.
Everything comes from the same source.
Yes.
So that means, though we are unable to accept or go along with the different reactions of the co-creations, varied in nature. Some we say good, some we say bad. But if we go to the origin, just like for parents, they get 3 or 4 children, but 3 or 4 children are not same. Each one develops their own preferences, priorities. Each one is totally different. Why should there be difference when we know the source is one? One boy may be intelligent, the other boy may not be interested in so many pursuits. One may be overactive, the other may be not at all active. So that upsets us, no? But if you go to the source, so many things will emerge. Each one is working out because of their own swabhava, karma. That is how we will not get agitated. That will pave the way for peace. Then.
Karma into Karma Yoga, transforming Karma into Karma Yoga.
Karma to Karma Yoga. That means dedicating everything to Him who is the real owner, who is the real force behind everything. So I will not appropriate for myself any of the results of the action. That will definitely, because then there won't be any expectation. That will again help me to get peace. Peace is get disturbed because what we expect does not become true. Every time we should go back to the peace, otherwise, it will be academic exercise. Then, in Jnani Bhakta also, that is the thing. Jnani Bhakta will not ask for anything. Whereas the first two, when they are in trouble, they cry for relief. When they want more wealth, more comforts, they cry, they pray. The third one is, something should be there, we must know Him, that's all. But in the last one, there is nothing, no craving. Everything has been given by Him, does He not know what is to be provided to me? That will pave the way for peace. Then.
Understanding death. Understanding death. Remembering death.
Understanding death and peace. How do we connect?
You understand that love the death, about that, we won't make any sin. The time to make sin. We won't make mistake, we won't make attachment.
Say that. Constantly thinking of the ephemeral nature of the body will help us to feel detached from anything, objects, persons, situations. So, peace gets disturbed only when there is attachment. So, when I know that everything is transient, at the moment it is there, okay, we will take it. Tomorrow it need not be there, okay, I take it. No? That equanimity I get only when I become aware of the transient nature of not only the body, of anything that is created. Anything that is created, it will be destroyed. So that is how the 8th chapter directs us to peace. Yes.
Royal Father Splendor.
Can't hear.
Eh?
Royal
Royal Father Spirituality.
Royal
Royal
path
path.
in spirituality.
Royal path in spirituality, what is that?
9th chapter.
What is that?
Absolute surrender.
Absolute surrender.
I fully realize I am what I am only because of him. There are only three things in the world: me, his devotee; he, the Lord. Rest of the things are articles of worship. So beyond that, I don't put any label on anything. That will ultimately enable me to get the peace. So this exercise is proving to be beneficial. The only thing is we should connect everything to peace, because peace is what we want. So whenever he makes us to deal with stressful moments, if we pray to him to bring all these into our mind, it will give us at least some cushioning effect. The shock will not be felt. The depression will not be felt seriously. Initially there will be a jerk, but in the shortest possible time, we will be able to get back to the peace. Okay, with this background, we will now try to go to the 10th. Becoming aware of the grandeur of the reality is an aid in the spiritual journey. The vast creation is like God's book. Everywhere in the book, the name of the Lord is written in beautiful letters. When we start seeing him in his grand manifestation, automatically peace sets in. We don't think any explanation is necessary, because all of us, when we see anything great or grand, a river, a waterfall, a mountain, a valley, even butterflies, even a peacock, just think. Everybody will stop the vehicle and look at it. When we pass through certain forest area where we find wild elephants or something, we will try to look at it. Thick forest, as we have expressed, somewhere near, we don't have any touch with them for the past 20 years. But 20 years back, we went to that man-made forest. A barren land was converted into a thick forest. All because there was a commitment in somebody's head, who was then in Dubai, Abdul Karim. Every rainy season when he comes to India, he will plant some seeds in the barren land, and slowly some of them died, some of them exist. Again he will do the watering. Over so many years he built it up, one by one, one by one, one by one. Beautiful. We were taken to that forest. Only beaten track will be there here and there. No vehicle is allowed. Nobody is allowed to kill anything there. So when we look at it, virgin nature, no? Untouched by any of our so-called civilized attempts. So grandeur, no? Becoming aware of the grandeur of the reality is an aid in the spiritual journey. The vast creation is like God's book. It's a beautiful word. In the 10th chapter, if we remember this, Because we have some idea about, we have solid idea about book, you know. No, we don't need anybody to tell us, explain about us, about the word book. A book contains pages. So here Vinobaji says, this vast creation is like God's book. Everywhere in the book, the name of the Lord is written in beautiful letters. That is very touching, and in beautiful letters. So God's creation, God's creation, God's creation. You see a particular type of bird, particular type of butterfly, a caterpillar, anything, even a snail. Anything, even a cockroach, even a mosquito, even in reptiles. Initially, you know, we become, it will come and attack us, so many things, but we lose. We are not looking at the God's name there. So here he says, the vast creation is like God's book. Everywhere in the book, the name of the Lord is written in beautiful letters. When we start seeing Him in His grand manifestation, automatically peace sets in. We don't have to do anything. When we see the waterfall, we must have learned from school that from a higher level the water goes to the lower level. That is why in every of our house there is a tank on our terrace. So the law of gravity, all that you have to do is to open the tap. The water through a motor taken from the well, it is pumped into the tank, and afterward automatically it comes. So in a waterfall, when you look at it with that bhavana, God's name, no? Who brought this law? When you look at each and every creation, there is a uniqueness in it. Who did that uniqueness? That is how he says everywhere God's name is written. So the more we think about God, faster we start enjoying the peace within. And from there we move to the 11th. By dwelling on His all-inclusive form, through relating everything, good, bad, beautiful, ugly, positive, negative, constructive, destructive, all pairs of opposites to Him, one becomes free from agitations, thereby resulting in experiencing peace. Papa used to say, construction and destruction are concomitant. Probably none of us would have applied our mind go to seriously. When we construct something, automatically we are changing the ratio of forces. The seed dies when it breaks and the seedling comes. The pollination takes place, the beautiful flower fades, the fruition takes place. You want to plant a sapling, You take the moment you are some instrument, you dig a pit. By digging a pit, you are causing untold sufferings for many of the bacteria there, mudworms. Your intention is not to kill them. Your intention is to plant. It's a beautiful idea, we should keep doing it. But we should know in that process of bringing something positive, so many things which are negative are also being done. So the 11th chapter, he brings all. Then only we can say that he is all-pervading. Otherwise we will label certain things as good, certain things as bad. These are all godly, these are all ungodly. Whereas everything is godly only. You will all remember when Papa was back to Kadri Hills after more than 2.5 to 3 years of struggle. From 1920 it started. 22 December he left. He came back. In our language, he has reached the summit. But he himself says, after coming back to Kadri Hill, he felt certain previously labeled negative tendencies, down-pulling tendencies, cravings, desires welling up again. So he cried. For a time everything got subsided. After a few days, again he had the same experience. Then he bitterly cried. Why is this happening to me in spite of so much of surrender? So then he heard, intuitively he heard, why are you separating me from anything? Is it not that also me? So that means the so-called negative, the so-called destructive, everything is attributed to him. Then only we can say he is all-pervading. So the 11th chapter, Vishwarupam. Previously it was Vibhuti. This is Vishwarupam. It contains everything. There will be sugarcane field, there will be neem trees. Bitter gourd will be there. There will be chilies. There will be something which is not at all insipid, butterfruit for example, tasteless. So different varieties. One we like, the other one we don't like. Suddenly, he makes us aware, I am there in everything. The sweetness in the sugar cane, the bitterness in the bitter gourd, the spiciness in the chilies, the sourness in the tomato, the neutral taste in butterfruit, everything is me only. So when I start going deeper into this, previously I was tossed hither and thither by these pairs of opposites, which was denying me the peace. So when I know that everything is His creation, I will not be disturbed. By habituation, I may get disturbed for a few moments, but in the shortest possible time, He will make us to realize that that is also He. And then peace return. peace wells up in our heart. So this is the 11th chapter. Then we go to the 12th chapter. Having understood him as everything and every being, one cannot but interact with love and compassion to all. And this leads in turn to peace within and peace without. In other words, the expansion takes place. Adveshta sarvabhutanam. I become one with everybody. Accommodating in my mind the quality, care and concern of as many creations as possible. And all those values there, no? Sri Krishna introduces that those who are practicing is called dearest devotee, my dearest devotee. So peace comes only when I see different. Peace will not be felt if I see the difference. Peace will be felt when I see the oneness. Think about it. So 12th chapter, when we approach with this, the individual comes out of its shell, of its own limitations. And the result is we are peace at ourselves. Anxiety is only to love and serve all. So 10, 11, 12. Anybody would like to say anything about any of these? We don't just want to complete.
Swamiji, everything is godly in the way, yeah. Everything is godly.
Everything is godly.
Then you know, ma'am.
Explanation. She wants little explanation.
Then the bitterness in the bitter gourd, no? Each one's temperament, nature is different. Each one is acting based upon his taste, temperament, aptitude, inclination, his samskara. If I view it from my level, I have set certain norms, certain standard. And when the other person is not doing like that, I get upset. My peace is disturbed. But suppose I raise myself and to understand, just like I have my rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, others also have. That is why he is behaving like that. So we may have to tell him lovingly that the stand taken by him does not go along with what we have understood. And in certain cases, probably we may have to use stern languages. But even then, we accept, mentally, that is because of the nature of that particular person. Svabhavastu pravartate, na kartrutvam na bhoktritvam, lokasya srijati prabhu, na karmavala samyogam, svabhavastu pravartate. So when I start, I may be acting, reacting. But at the same time in my mind, I accept the truth. That is why he is acting like that. There are umpteen number of instances where you and I would have dealt with it based upon this. We don't form prejudices against that person. whenever we accept him in totality. When we look at him only from one particular angle, we may differ with him. We may develop prejudice against him. We may be biased against him. But when we bring a comprehensive look, we will through.
Powerful message. Very powerful message, Swami.
Very powerful
And at
message.
times we do become upset. We do how to overcome
We will become upset because we have not trained our mind, we are only hearing all these things. The training, hearing is not doing is doing. So when we make a resolve to get something of it, by trial and error method, we may be slowly moving toward this ideal. Just because we heard this, we cannot practice. Equipment is not yet ready. That is why this manana is necessary. Deep contemplation. Deep contemplation alone will help us. In spite of that, we may lose, but one thing is sure, in the shortest possible time, we will be able to pull us up.
a lot of introspection நமக்கு வேணும்.
Lot of introspection is needed. Introspection.
அது வேணுமே சும்மா அந்த அதான் why we are not progressing even in our Ramnam. Because Ramnam floats at the superficial level. If Papa could scale in 2 years, we have been doing it for ages now, decades. Where are we? The deep contemplation, side by side, if I remember the word, he said ceaseless chanting of God's name, side by side with the contemplation on the attributes. This was what was going on when he was chanting. I am chanting the name of one who is within me, who is making me to chant. And ensuring that my outer life goes in line with the inner aspiration. These two unknowingly we have forgotten. During the non-chanting time, I must be able to go along with the ideal for which we am chanting. Chanting is to know that he is making me to chant and I am nobody. I am his nimittam. I am only a tool in his hands. So when I do the non-chanting time, if self-assertion comes, it is not in line with that. So in Papa's case, in 2 years' time, he was able to blend this. He was also like all of us, very much with family problems, professional problems, social problems. And in spite of that, God blessed him to have this. There were some instrumental causes, that's all.
He was constantly on the royal path. He was on the royal path.
He was on the royal path right from the beginning. Correct. You are right. So the positive and negative, only by going deeper into it we will understand that that is a label given by us. And we cannot change the course of life. Mosquito will come and bite only, it will not come and sing and go. That is its svabhava. You can avoid their biting, but you don't blame them. That is, God has given that svabhava to them. Somebody is deeply introvert, somebody is extrovert. Somebody is always in a meditative mood, somebody is always on a talkative mood, somebody is always ever super active, somebody is dull. We are seeing this, around us. Can we with one stroke say all these things are bad? So we have to keep on thinking about it. This 11th chapter, because he says, one word he used, I am the one who manipulated in the disc play, What is that? Malayalam book I did not take. Malayalam book? Malayalam Bhagavad Gita.
I'll bring it for you.
Enough. I am the one who makes others to cheat. Kalosmin दासी लोकस्य अस्मत्प्रणस्य पितेव अधिष्ठभूवा किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रितं मया प्रसन्नेन तेजोमयं वेदयज्ञम् एवं स्वरूपं मानवम्. So he clearly mentions that.
Kalosmi shloka is it? Kalosmi lokakshayatu.
That is it. I am time. Kalosmi. But in that, he will say, I am the one who cheats. Cheat. The disc play, Shaguni play. You remember when we started this, why this is not opening? Puranas declare that the whole of life is indeed the Leela of the Lord, in which he himself is the hero and the villain, the actor and the audience, the director and the producer, the song and the silence, even the very stage on which the drama is enacted. It is by a large mobilization of his prakriti, his energy, his will, his power, that he manifests himself in all its multiplicity. But then the question arises as to why he allows himself to get caught in the web of his own creation. The best actors are those who can completely immerse their private lives in the personality of the character they are portraying. So also in the cosmic drama, the supreme actor, God, has to forget his true nature, allow himself to be caught in the web of his own Maya. He becomes the king on the throne, the beggar in the street, the murderer about to be hung, the victim lying in a pool of blood, as well as the judge pronouncing judgment in the court. He is the solo actor, the solo enjoyer, the only experience, oblivious of his divine origin, submerged in the role. This is one aspect that will throw some light. If we are unable to accept that, think about it.
Swamiji, all the facets of life are everything correct. But how is it he is getting get caught in same old way?
No?
Will you please repeat, Sharmaji?
I don't know. I am Gauri Shankar.
Gauri Shankarji, boliye.
Yeah. So, Hari, so actually, yes, I mean, original, yes.
He's thinking.
Now the description is, all the facets of life has been very well explained. But how the Lord himself is getting involved in the web of Maya being caught. Is it only a show?
He-
We have to keep him
We
in
have-
our better perspective.
You remember in Papa's words, we are not taking deep, that is a problem. Behold divinity in every aspect of this world Leela.
Yes.
Every aspect. Verily, it is He at play in all things and beings. It is difficult for us to accept it. Agreed. But we have the faith in our Master's words. So he says, behold divinity in every aspect of this world Leela.
No, that is the original one.
That answers everything.
Yes. But subsequently, the description alone makes it, doubtful.
Huh?
Ultimately,
Subsequently, the description wherein he is being caught in the same old...
Correct. So we remember Puja Swamiji sharing with us about how he happened to hear about Papa when he was working in the Second World War.
Yes.
So when he was in Rangoon, if you remember right, Burma or Bangladesh, present Dhaka, one of his friends told him there is a saint in South India. On those days there was no Kerala. In South India, who said there is no disorder in the world. Everything is as it should be. Puja Swamiji was telling he was unable to accept. First of all, understand. Very difficult to accept because he is in the forefront. Every day seeing atrocities going on. Shooting takes place. Many are dying. Many are running for their lives. And here somebody says there is no disorder in the world.
It's beyond logic.
So then Swamiji said, when thinking about it, only two people in the world can say that. One, he should be a madman who is not aware of the realities, or he should be a great person who has moved from our level of understanding.
Yes.
Because the entire thing is happening, that truth is there. Those who are in a position to accept the truth, not prejudiced by, not colored by anything that is happening. It happens. And everything has got a chronological order. He makes somebody to become rajasic, he makes somebody to become defensive, offensive and defensive. All these things are taking place. So somebody who is in a position to raise himself to that and look at it, he can declare that everything, there is no disorder in the world. And later on, Puja Swamiji was also telling, if we look at our own life, we will find it. Everything is going on because of an order. Later on, we try to connect up with our karmic wrangle, our vasanas, samskaras. So everything is happening. Anyway, leaving aside, so we are to accept everything as they are. Very difficult. Very difficult because we are only hearing. In the absence of otherness, when it comes only, we will be able to do this. Those people who wanted to kill Mataji did not have any enmity towards them. She has forgotten the whole thing. Place ourselves in her position. Even today we will be thinking about it. No, let him come, I will give him. Correct. But she was in a position to, immediately after that, Papa had written not a word about any of them. And later on, when this ashram was set up, when they came and apologized, Mataji did not feel at all anything. During one of the conversations with a foreigner, Puja Swamiji was translating it from Malayalam to English to the foreigner. There the foreigner asked about what was your attitude. Then she said, it happened, that's all, God willed. So that means it depends upon us to give the colorization. And Mataji did not hear and start practicing it. Prior to that incident, Papa put her on the severest test. Apart from chanting God's name, she was put to the severest test. And when she came out of the test, the final examination was this. On that fateful day, to move them from Kasaragod to Kanjangad, God has to enact some drama there, no?
Will of the Lord. Will of the Lord.
Now we can say that because we know, we have seen this, we have heard through them.
But in her position,
when it comes to me, whether will I accept it? It's nice to hear somebody's anecdote, because I am not affected. That one anecdote, you have got 20 cows, will you give 10 cows? Oh yes. Will you give 15 cows? Oh yes, certainly. How is it that you are in a position to say so? Then he said, it is not I don't have cows. It is only an imagination, no? If it is my cow, I will not part with it. Similarly, when we hear about the anecdotes of others, we can appreciate because it has not touched us. When it comes to me, how do I react? So many things are there.
Thank you, Arun.
Ayyo. Sorry, not in 11. It is the 36th chapter in the 10th chapter.
10th chapter, 36 sloka.
Dhyutam chalayatamasmi tejasminamaham jayosmi വ്യവസായോസ്മി സത്വം സത്വമസാമഹം. വഞ്ചിക്കുന്നവർക്കിടയിൽ ഞാൻ ചൂതാട്ടമാകുന്നു.
10th chapter, 36 sloka.
I don't get the tomorrow. I'm not getting. What is it? What is the first one?
Papa, 1931. Correct one. Papa, PSA. 1931.
It's all right. We will try to discuss about it tomorrow. 36th sloka of the 10th chapter. Yeah.
Not tomorrow.
Because he says in 34, Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavisyatam kirti shrir vakchanarinam smritir medha dhridikshama. He keeps on telling about positive as well as the negative. Dhyutam chalayatamasmi. So like that, he says, Pavana Pavadasmi, when he keeps on listing, he brings it everything, embraces everything. There is nothing that. One minute, one more. I will try. Chapter 10. Sloka number?
36.
Come here.
Chalayata, 36 sloka.
Go to 36th.
Chapter 10.
Chapter 10. That has come. I want this particular sloka.
Within this program.
That I don't know.
Wait. How are they highlighted within the chapters?
10th chapter.
Highlighted? What is the name of the sloka number? How
Chalayata.
Dhyutam. Dhyutam.
that you have to say.
Very okay.
Churchit. Dhyutam.
Remove that.
Dhyutam.
Dhyutam.
DU.
Yeah, D-Y-U. D-Y-U. Dhyutam.
Chapter
Chapter 10, Dutam.
I am the gambling of the fraudulent.
36.
Right? He says, I am the gambling of the fraudulent. I am the power of the powerful. I am victory. I am effort. I am sattva of sattvika. It is interesting. Dyutam chalayatam asmi. I am dyutam. That kind of play of gambling you have in Mahabharata, cheating in gambling done by Shakuni. And so I am the gambling of the gambler. The deceitfulness of the gambler. Many people, especially those who are of the monotheistic attitude, cannot appreciate this thing. Their God is separate from this universe. But in India, God is not separate from the universe. From God, the universe has come. So there is nothing supernatural in Indian thought. Therefore, whatever happens here is an expression of the divine. I repeatedly gave the example of the sun. So, from the point of view, Dyutam Chalayatam Asmi. And also Tejas Tejasvinamaham. Jayosmi. So everything, these three states of mind, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic.
Yes, Swami.
So now it becomes clear.
Yes, Swami.
Clear. Though it is difficult for us to accept. So now this will give, whenever our labeled expression comes, it disturbs our peace.
Anything is only. Everything is.
So the peace will come to me only when I accept everything as they are.
Yeah.
Difficult for me at the moment, but I should try. It need not necessarily be in the way in which we want. We may not even know this, but ultimately God will make us to go through this. Just before coming to this satsang hall, one devotee was sharing his experience. Many years ago, when he was going in the bike with a lakh of rupees on his pocket, suddenly a group of people rounded him and tortured him. He ran for his life. Head to foot he was injured, blood was oozing. Somehow he reached back home. And the police, everybody came, asked him to identify the person who have attacked him. He said, I can't. It is true that I was attacked, but I don't know them. If I give the names of the innocent people, in what way it is going to help? So I don't want anybody to be tortured. It's a wonderful grace of God to take the stand. At that time we may not know that it is because of His grace. But when we read this, Dyutam Chalayamas, then we understand that He is also behind that. At that time I did not know that it was God who cornered me, tortured me through His creation. But now I understand. So it is better, that's why we are reminded, Papa says, you should understand through your perfected experience. This is the word he uses. No amount of reading will help us, but we should try to understand it through our own perfected experience. See, today we were not discussing. He himself volunteered this. But we never knew that this particular topic will come for the satsang. But he gives that. That is how he guides. At that time, if he had also Rajasic tendency, he would have said, I will come there, show them. At least one or two people I will be able to show them. But he said, no, forget about it. To reach that stage, at that time I may not know that I have taken it because of my spiritual progress. But God prompted me not to go ahead. And today, even after that, we remember because there was no negative feeling. So the message is we must try to understand it through our own perfected experience. So we have technically covered up to 12, 13, 10, 11, 12. We will see tomorrow whether Papa wants us to go it back to again and again and again. So that by the time we complete this round, it should be in our mind some points from each and every.
Tomorrow is Sunday.
Oh, tomorrow is Sunday, thank God. Next day after tomorrow. Hari Om. Tomorrow we will not be here also. Correct. Hari Om, Hari Om. Day after tomorrow we will meet. Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram.